So I wanted to do this little video just with starts. I also putting together a video with change of direction. But these two elements, I feel that if any event comes up where either of those elements are important, it's easy points, okay? So the first thing is the start. The one thing I'll say is, just to get it out of the way, is because it feels natural, most people want to start in a 2-point stance, meaning 1, 2, 2 feet. This will basically get you nowhere, okay? The tendency is going to be that when that gun goes off, you're going to stutter in your step, which takes seconds off. Meanwhile, the other person is about 2 meters out if they're starting in a better stance. The reason is all your center of gravity is over your feet, is not leaning forward. You want to be leaning forward, okay? Just like in pose running where they say you want to be falling down, it's the same thing in the start. If you're starting in a 2-point stance, you're going to have the tendency to stutter your steps, something like that, and you're going to be standing in place, okay? That's exactly what's going to happen. So my recommendation is to basically set up in a track stance, okay, which is 4 points. All right. You want my right leg is dominant, so you want your dominant leg, your dominant knee to be on the ground. Your front foot to be almost even with your dominant knee, and get up on your fingertips, okay? Now that's where you start. But then you want to take that to a 3-point stance. So you're going to rise up, right? You're going to be leaning on your hands, okay? Take this hand, raise it up. So the hand opposite your dominant leg, you want to bring that up, okay? Now when you do that, you're not going to be able to hold that stance for a while because there's going to be a lot of pressure on, in this case, my right hand, okay? So as the clock counts down, you want to get into your stance. More than likely, there's not going to be like a 3, 2, 1, go. It's going to just be a get ready and then a buzzer, just like it was in the zigzag sprint a few years ago. So you want to get up on your stance into your 4-point stance, raise this hand. Now what this hand is going to do is it's going to swing forward and drive you out of that driving leg, all right? So you want to get up, raise this hand. You want to drive this forward and this arm back. That's going to get you started. Now, if you look, my head is still at the ground. Again, the tendency is going to be for you to want to look up at what you're doing or look up to where you're going. So you're going to get up, you're going to do this, and your tendency is going to want to be to do something like that, okay? It's not what you want to do. You want to drive the first few steps with your head still looking at the ground. And then somewhere out there, about 10 yards, let's say, that's when you want to start looking up at where your target is. Now, if you have to run around objects, you know, that's going to depend on where you're going. But that start is so important, it'll put you a few steps ahead of your competition. The main thing is to get into a 3-point stance, not the 2-point. And I'm going to have my daughter demonstrate a few. She's off camera right now. I'll try to do a few. I'm attached with the cord, so I might be limited here.